Here we are at Abyss 110. This is the same team we've been using for quite a while now, but I'll go over their stats anyways. This floor is pretty much complete RNG, but assuming you get past the RNG check, it's pretty straightforward from then on. It's just a DPS check. But first up is Ras. Ras, plus 15 HP set, Arius. Tamarinne, Path of Air, Speed, HP set from doing her connection with Magaraha's Tome. Camilla, you want her 60 effectiveness with good amount of speed, bit of extra bulk for your leftover stats if you can manage it, with Warhorn here to give her more cycling and also boost Commander Lorina's attack. And lastly, Commander Lorina, your best destruction pen gear. Of course, these boots could be reforged, but I don't want to reforge these. At least not for now. With Symbol of Unity for this floor, because she is immune to max HP percent damage. It's not listed here, but when she transforms, so okay, when she drops below 70% HP, she transforms into Silver Blade Aramintha, and then Silver Blade Aramintha is immune to max HP percent damage, so don't bring the Aging Joker, we're using Symbol here. Anyways, that's it for the stats, now you can take a look at the run. So here, wave 1, we're just gonna stall for souls like usual. One thing to keep in mind though is that when you use AoEs, you will lose 20 souls, which you'll see here. I'm going to Ras S3 just for the defense buff, and only here, my 5 souls are gonna go bye-bye, and I'm not gonna use any AoEs anymore. Besides Ras S3, that's also Tamarinne's Idol S1, so we can't use Tamarinne S3. So we're gonna kill all the ads now. We lost our Solitude Rune already. Very annoying. The ads do a lot of damage, so killing at least a couple of them is still nice, even if you plan on just rushing down the boss. When you kill an ad, which you'll see here, the boss gets greater attack buff and greater defense buff. Once you kill all 4 ads though, this isn't really a problem. And especially once Commander Lorina ramps up her S2 stacks, you start killing the ads pretty easily. She just 2-hits them at this point. Even with a miss, this guy's half HP, and now he's dead. So you can try and strip the greater attack buff from him if you want. And since he's going to S3 next turn, well, we have no way to strip it from him anymore because Ross got stunned. But you could opt to just try and strip that greater attack buff and then wait out his S3 before killing the other one. But we're just going to kill this guy now because he already S3'd. I opted to just save Camilla S2 so it could stall out longer for more souls. But you could just go for this a little bit faster. Same thing with Ras S2. I'm just kind of stalling for as long as I can for more souls. We stripped the greater attack buff, which is nice. Since we torched the ads pretty fast, that's why I'm just trying to stall a little bit longer. You don't want to stall too long though, just because it's RNG. Complete RNG, whether or not you pass the second wave or not. The RNG check is at the very start at least. Everything after that is just DPS and tank/healing check. But because it's RNG, you might not want to stall too long, just so you can not have to waste as much time doing these runs, though this isn't taking that long, I would say. It's still, like, bearable for me, at least. Well, we got a dual attack, so we'll be ending this turn earlier. Here, Aramintha has 3 lamps. You have to kill one of the lamps. You don't know which one. Just pick a random one, hit it. We hit the right one. Perfect. This is the ideal outcome. There is a way to tell which lamp you're supposed to hit. It's just annoying, so I would rather just roll the 1 out of 3. I'll explain how you tell later. For now, after you find the right lamp, just kill Aramintha. Get her below 70% and she swaps over to ML Aramintha and we enter phase 2. Also notably, don't use Tamarinne Idol S3 just because the AoE S1 in the previous phase is going to hit both of the wrong lamps. Now we can use it because we're in phase 2. The mechanic in phase 2 is you have to hit these guys with a crit. You could consider giving your units a bit more crit chance, like if you have crit chance main necklaces, you could put that on Camilla or something. Would make it easier. So we got 1 lucky crit from Camilla so far. You have to crit each of them 4 times. And then once you crit them 4 times, then you start dealing damage to ML Aramintha. This is a bit of a debuff slash tankiness check. Like here we got really lucky, we crit both. Otherwise we would have had to hit the bottom one more time. And then the top one more time. Which it would have been on this turn, I would be hitting the ads with Camilla instead of hitting ML Aramintha. But once you get both of them to swap over to Dazzled Magnar, just dump all of your damage into ML Aramintha and try to kill her before she kills you. That's pretty much it. Here, her death break is gone. We're just gonna soul burn this. So we've gotten her low enough. We can just use Random Lorina's S3. And this fight is over. So now let's talk about how you're supposed to actually know which lamp is the right one. I don't like this method, like I mentioned, just because it's pretty taxing on your HP, and now our HP pool is already pretty tight in this fight. Maybe if you have a Cadiz over Tamarinne, you could sustain up for it, though that has other issues, like not having enough tempo in the second phase of this fight. Anyways, just don't hit the lamps for now. I'm not even going to attack up with Camilla, we're just going to hit Aramintha, decrease speed, resistance, burn. Great! So, this is one of the reasons it's annoying. The way it's supposed to work is these lamps can inflict 5 random debuffs. Decrease attack, decrease speed, sleep, stun, and burn. The trick is that the lamp that has the correct lamp that's holding the overload buff can only inflict burn, stun, and sleep. So by process of elimination, we know that this, or not process of elimination, we're getting to that, but we can eliminate this one because this one inflicted the speed down, so we know that this one is not correct. And because we want to see which debuffs we're getting, we don't want to use S2. That would give us immunity. Since Commander Lorina got resisted, we have no idea what debuff this guy was going to put out. You have 2 options now. Pick a lamp and pray, at least it's a 50-50 now, instead of a 33-33-33-33. Or, let's wait 1 more turn and see what we get. Decrease attack from this guy, we already knew that though. Resistance, burn. So we still know nothing. And the other way to tell is if we just let the lamps go 1 more time. Increase defense from that guy. Increase defense from that guy. And skill nullifier. So the other thing is just when they are granting a random buff, the only random buff that the correct lamp can give is skill nullifier. And you can see she's about to S3. And actually, she should have S3'd earlier, because usually her S1 is going to get a -1 turn cooldown for her S3 if you're burned after she attacks. And just through really good RNG, she never procced that, so she would have usually S3'd by now. Anyways, at this point, we know that this is the correct one. We can hit it. And she S3s. And this is what I mean when I say it is just taxing on your HP. We actually resisted a lot of the burns there. So we can try and kill her. She has defense buff, so that's why even letting them buff... Okay, Camilla died. She has defense buff, that's why even like letting them get their S3s off is annoying, because now you have to kill through defense buff. And that's also why they also can do immunity buff, so you might not be able to death break. And then just, you saw I got resisted sometimes, so I couldn't tell which one I wanted to hit. And also, because the one that doesn't have overload can still do burn, stun, and sleep, if you get really unlucky, they just keep on doing burn, stun, sleep, and you have no idea which one is right. Sometimes you just never get to find out until they use S3, but like I mentioned, the CD reduction on her S1, she's going to proc it normally, so she would S3, and then she activates her S2 if you didn't find the right lamp yet. So that's just going to kill you. You could let them get one turn, maybe get a bit of info, at least reduce the odds to a 50-50, but the problem is that if they land stun or sleep on your command Lorina, it's a 2-turn debuff. You're just not going to be able to kill Aramintha in time, so that's why I opt to just roll the die and just 1 out of 3.